Hello and welcome to the second part of the Microfocus ArcSight SIEM lesson. In the first part, we focused on the correlation component of the solution, which is the Enterprise Security Manager and its appliance flavor, the ESM Express, and the add-ons for the compliance, which is called the Compliance Inside Packages, CIPs. In this part, we will focus on the log management part of the solution. And by log management, we mean that we don't care about the correlation, which is to put two pieces of information or more pieces of information together to combine the puzzle and have a big picture of what's going on. Here we focus on collecting the information, normalize the information, put them in one format, one common format, and store them in an efficient database, indexed in a way that make the search very fast, and how to manage the solution itself, how to make sure that the logs are parsed correctly, because this is the core. If the logs are not parsed and put in the correct format, you will lose the main value of a centralized log management solution. So the solution is called by Microfocus as ArcSight Data Platform. So actually the ArcSight Data Platform, the first point, is not a solution by itself, or not appliance or software by itself, but actually it's a name, marketing name for the different components of the log management solution. So the main components are the Microfocus ArcSight Logger, Microfocus ArcSight Smart Connector, Microfocus ArcSight Management Center, and lastly the Microfocus ArcSight Flex Connector. So first, let's talk about the Microfocus ArcSight Logger. This is the main solution for the log management. It can be an appliance or software. It can be software based as well. So this is the main component which store the logs in an indexed efficient database and provide the analyst with the capabilities to make fast searches through the data, through the information stored, the log information stored, and he can convert these searches into nice dashboards so he can return to it, or simply display them on a big screen for his NOC or his SOC. So the logger is mainly for long-term retention. So you can store the logs up to 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, depending on your internal policy, internal organization policy, or maybe due to some regulatory obligations that requires your industry or your organization to store the logs for 1 year or more. Like in banks, I think they have maybe a policy for storing the customer data up to 5 years. So anyway, the ArcSight Logger is mainly to collect, not collect, the collection will come in the with smart connectors, is to store the information received by the smart connectors and store them in its database and provide fast searches and nice dashboards. Other features as well we'll talk about when we start the ArcSight Logger chapter and lessons. The next component is the ArcSight Smart Connector, and these are the components responsible for the collection from the log sources, the data sources, like firewalls, load balancers, routers, switches, Windows servers, Linux servers, whatever applications, databases. So actually Microfocus has a wide range of smart connectors that can read or collect logs from over, I think, 400 plus log sources, and then normalize these logs into a common format. And this is the core, the infrastructure of the solution, that the smart connectors convert these different formats. You remember our first video when we talked about the business driver for a SIEM solution. So here is the smart connector doing the job for us. It will convert these different types of formats into one common format that can be stored to the in the logger database, and then it gives the abstract layer for the analysts to start exploring the logs and search for artifacts for incidents or indicators of compromise or whatever they are looking for. So the smart connector is main function is to normalize the logs into a common format. It does other functions as well, like filtration and aggregation. Filtration is to just give you the ability to filter some noisy logs, like in the Windows logs. When you collect Windows security logs, there are a lot of Windows filtration events coming, and it's relating to the Windows firewall, and it's very noisy and very heavy, and you may not need it in your system because it will consume resources, and you don't need it. So on the smart connector level, before even send this logs to the logger or to the ESM, you can filter. And aggregation, which means that you can aggregate multiple events or logs together and just send one event or one log with a count greater than 0. Next, the ArcSight Management Center. From its name, it's a management component, so it's not processing any logs or anything. This is just invented short time back from Micro Focus, and it's a good solution. I worked on it, and it's I can tell it's a good solution, and it helps manage the whole ADB platform, so it can manage the ArcSight logger, the ArcSight smart connectors as well. We will come across this in specific lessons later on in this course. Lastly, we have the Micro Focus ArcSight Flex connector, which is like a software delivery kit or a software development kit invented by Micro Focus ArcSight to let the customers to write their own smart connectors or their own parsers to normalize the logs. As I said, in the ArcSight Smart Connector, it has wide coverage. Micro Focus has a wide coverage for a lot of technologies from different categories. So the smart connectors can read logs from databases, Oracle, MySQL, SQL. It can read logs from operating systems, Windows, Linux. It can read logs from firewalls with different brands, Palo Alto, Cisco, ASA, whatever. It has a wide coverage for over 400 plus vendors or log sources. But what if the customer is using custom applications, like in sensitive sectors, industries? They don't rely a lot on the products or the applications on the shelf. They invent or write their own custom applications. They have in-house development, software development, and they are developing their own applications. So in that case, for sure, Micro Focus ArcSight doesn't have visibility on this applications, and they don't have a smart connector for this kind of applications. In that case, Micro Focus ArcSight provided a Flex connector, which is a software development kit to provide the customer with a way to write their own parsers that can read such logs, such custom logs, and normalize them in the same way that the smart connectors are doing for the known log formats. So that's it for this video. I hope that it's clear and you enjoyed it, and see you in next videos.